this is Guy from My Real Estate Advisor. I'm just going to run through some basic information on a Choice Homes house and land package. Okay, so this is a basic contract that's come from Choice Homes. So this gives you an example now. This is one that a client is looking to buy on a corner block. This is a particularly big build for a new one. It's a 200 square metre property, and as you can see, this is how it's presented. Let's give you the gist of it, and then we've got the idea there of what that looks like. So you've got your standard contracts, and what comes is this is how they'll arrive, and then they've got all the parts ready for you to sign and initial. So you have to sign and initial pretty much every single page through here, and it has all the information on the property itself. And then we've also got your land contract as well, which again you have to sign and initial pretty much every single page, so that gives you a gist. And then you've also got another bit of paperwork here, which is the site plan proposed. So this gives you an idea of how the how the house is going to be positioned on the block. And this is where you can go through and you can check that everything matches up, the design and everything else. What it is, what upgrades, what's actually included, so what the inclusions are, the certificates. And this is signed, witnessed as well. And then you've got your little booklet here with more things to sign and initial, which sort of you get a copy and they'll get a copy basically in a nutshell. So that is pretty much it. Then everything will go off to your solicitors and accountants and everybody else once it's all done, and then it will go through the processes it needs to be able to be processed and done. So that gives you a rough idea of how complicated it is to buy a property. It's not too bad. It's a few forms and the signatures and everything else. The main point from our side is that you get your finance organised as quickly as possible, and then you go from there. So what I'll do now is I'll just do a quick walkthrough of the display home to give you an idea of what the finish is. This is the display home, and obviously this wouldn't be what your garage would look like. This is an office that's used for meetings and that type of thing to sell these properties. So this is an idea. What I like about this particular build of Choice Homes is the display homes are exactly finished to the standard that the property is going to be finished to. So some builders will, and we won't name names, will have a really high spec, high end display home, and then when it comes time to build that property, there's a lot of extra costs that are not actually made apparent to you when you first buy the property. Whereas with this particular builder, one of the main reasons why we like working with them so much is because if I show this property to a buyer, they know that this is the sort of finish that they're going to end up with. So if we take the furniture elements out of this, you can see that you've got your built-in wardrobes and things like that, the quality of the doors, the flooring and everything else, the colouring, that type of thing. This is all standard stuff, the fans and everything else. So it's all pretty standard stuff. But it's just good quality finish. Nice little view out there, that's good. And decent fixtures and fittings and all that kind of caper. Decent size bathtub there, that's good. There's a toilet there. So this sort of gives you the gist. Like, I'm trying to film this as slowly as possible so the camera's not too shaky. This isn't a professionally done thing or anything. This is just to give the client a rough idea of what the quality's like of the build and everything else. So you can see decent sized kitchens and things like that, open plan design living. This will be, I think this is a palm tree as far as I know. Yep, there you go. Pantry. And then you've got this living area here, so you can look front and one at the back. And then we've got a master bedroom, slightly different design this one, because there's a master bedroom actually at the back of the house, so sometimes at the front, sometimes at the back. This one's actually at the back of the house. So I'll just go through, so you've got your wardrobe in here, and then you've got an ensuite bathroom. There's me, there I am again. There's a lot of me. So yeah, so you get the gist of the size of the place and everything else. And this is a good size sort of for a starter home, first time buyer or investor really that's going to rent this out. And to give you an idea of the back garden, I'll give you the gist of it. So with the display homes and things like that, the back garden doesn't tend to be very big. So you can see nicely, this isn't too overgrown or anything like that. So there's another lot next to this, but this is going to be kept empty. So we'll go up to a boundary. As you can see, you get the gist there of what this looks like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head up to the block of land that the client is now looking at, in order for them to get a better idea of how this particular design sits on a block of land. So you can sort of work out what the garden would look like and all that kind of thing based on how this particular one's been built. So I'll show the land first, and then we'll move on to the house itself. Okay, so now we're at the corner block that is for sale that this particular client is looking at. So as you can see, there's the markers there in the red and white show out where the frontage is of the property. Then if we come down, we can see how far this property goes. So this is a 450 block, just to give you an idea of what a 450 block looks like. So it's not too bad a size area. So if we come down to where this next marker is, that sort of gives you an idea where the property is going to come up to. So the next one will be next door to this place here. So the other one will come to here, and that will be the block of land from there to there. And that's what the corner block looks like. So now I'm going to take you up to what the actual house looks like that's been built as the same design and how that sits on a block, to give you a bit of a comparison. Now we're actually at the property that's pretty much identical to the one that's going to be built. So you can see here where the fence comes to and what the gap's like there, and you can see these are the lots that are going to be there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something like that up there. And I'll just walk past this now so you get an idea of size and the width of this property. Now this property is without fencing or anything else, so none of that's done. So it's got the front part where we can see this bit of rubbery looking fence thing is normally sort of where they were sort of marking out where the boundaries are going to go. So depending on what you get built, that's pretty much, this is going to be the back garden here, which will come out to here. And as you can see, there's the al fresco bit at the back there. As you can see, this is the reason why it needs to be on a corner, because of the size of it. And you can see that down the side. So all this part here, well, the al fresco is basically the back garden. That gives you a gist of that you have got a back garden, but it's more like at the side of the property. It's just a different layout basically, because it's a much wider house. So that sort of gives you an idea. You've got grass around it, but at the back of the house at the side, there's a couple of gaps but your main part is your one garden, the back, which will either obviously be made private and be fenced off like these other houses that are over here. So potentially you could probably fence off the majority of that and use that usable space is in that corner there. You know, wider driveway, wider property, basically. I don't know if it's open, I don't think it is. We'll try and have a look. Normally we lock them off. Yeah, it's locked off. Okay, so there you go. So you get the gist of it. Obviously this is very rough and ready because this isn't finished yet, nowhere near complete really. Still got a lot of work to go into this to finish it off. But yeah, so that gives you just an idea of the whole process from start to finish. So you've got your contract signed and get your finance, what a block of land looks like when it's got the pegs in, what it looks like when it's built, the stages it goes through. Obviously this has got to be landscaped and finished off and everything else. It just gives you an idea of the difference between a wider property and a skinnier property, you know. So there you go, you get the gist of it. So I hope this has helped understand the process a bit more. I'll put this video together. Any questions, give me a call on 0434695789. Visit the website www.myrealestateadvisor.com.au. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.